sounds of the StockManor.com studios here in the Christmassy Black Hills of South Dakota. I am your DJ, spinning it up, Brian Johnson, with a little music from Mercy Me called Drummer Boy to get you all in the Christmas mood. And welcome to today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro. It took me a lot longer to do it than I thought it was. That's actually a lot of work, surprisingly enough. But we had an abbreviated day on the market, so I had a little extra time on my hands today. And last second, spur of the moment, I'm a spontaneous, crazy type of guy and decided to throw that together. So here we have the markets today, and they did pretty much what we expected them to do today, and that was you see the Dow break into new highs, following what the Nasdaq and the S&P and even some of the other indices were already doing. We've been following the Russells on my subscribers newsletter, and that too, has been breaking to new highs. It's got some interesting potential ahead of it. So let's get into the video, talk a little bit about what to look for over, or what we did this past week, and I'll be back with you again on Sunday. We'll do a bigger video. Told my subscribers, same thing I'll tell you, and that's, took a little extra time off these last couple weeks, spending it with family, just hanging out in the Christmas mood. And now it's time to get serious again. Thanksgiving's behind us, Christmas is behind us, January's about to hit. It's nothing but barren land in front of us for a while before we have another major holiday in the market. So we'll really start to break things down for you again this weekend and start getting a little bit more serious about about the trading in the markets here. As we should see the volume start to pick up and the big money start to move back, starting even probably next week, and then for sure into January once the new year is over. So here we have the break up and over 10,500. I said that would be a good entry. So if you guys wanted to pick apart the indices a little bit today, you could have done that. A little bit on the S&P, the Dow, and the Nasdaq for sure. I've just been staying long all week long. Actually, if we take a look here at the daily on the Dow, you can see that any one of the indices you could have been long starting last week even, and just stayed long all week until close today. So here, just poking its head above, finally getting above and closing above that 10,500 mark. We'll see if that continues next week. No reason not to think it won't, seeing as how all the other indices have been doing that. Quick look at the Nasdaq. You can see it moving straight up again today. It was just, from the start of the week, it's done nothing but move straight up. There was really no pullback, no entry. If you're looking for a pullback to get in, you didn't get it. You just either had to get in and ride the coattails of everybody else, or get out of the way, sit on your hands, because the Nasdaq was a big mover this week, about 60 points or 50 points or so in that just this week alone. If you started last week, you would have right back down here at this place. I said, you feel lucky, punk. Here was the place that held as very strong support and bounced the next day and hasn't looked back since. We'll look at that a little bit more this weekend. Nasdaq on a weekly, we can look at this here and see that we closed well above this overhead support here. So now, the next step is to move back up into this 1970 area. We'll look at that a little bit more this weekend too. But wow, what a huge move this market has had since March, and hard to believe that is just sustainable in the long term. SPX on a 60 said over 1120 would be the place to get in on this, so you could have caught 6.5 points out of this today. Straight up, as were all the other indices, coming right back into this overhead resistance on this channel line here. I might be able to tweak that line ever so slightly and give us a couple more points up towards that 1130, but you can see us breaking this huge trading range we had been in for about a month and coming up now to this overhead resistance. Weekly, just up to overhead resistance as well on this, but not. I've got some other things drawn in for my subscribers, but you can see that this will be important to hold next week. Let's see if it'll break above that. Now the Nasdaq already has. It's already breaking its overhead resistance on the weekly. So, being how I like to look at that as the leading indicator, no reason not to think that this won't do the same. Maybe break up and over these resistance areas next week. I'm very curious about next week. I'm watching next week very, very closely to see if the moves that we saw this week with the low volume actually hold. Here we are, VIX on a weekly, moving right down. Oh, didn't quite get to my little green line, my little dotted line. Oh, so close. I just missed it by that much. So I was very, very close. I really thought we would close down here at this line. What is it, or at least bounced off of it? Seemed logical to me. Didn't quite make it. So we'll continue to watch the VIX. Regardless, it is confirming the move to the upside in the markets. Fear's just that there is no fear in the market right now. Everybody's just as happy as a lark. I don't know if larks are really happy, but I guess that's a common expression. Okay, here we go on Apple. I mentioned a break up to 203. In between 203 or 204 is where I would have been looking to take my profits. If you were long this from 200, if you held, congratulations, you made a killing today. Even if you took your profits between 203 and 204, good job. That was an excellent, excellent trade. You can't get everything. So if you got out between 203, 204, uh, no reason to be disappointed. In the extra move up, you can't call a top. Can't call tops. You can't call bottoms. We just look to take a piece out of the middle. So my call over 200. If you caught it back here at this break, you could have potentially have made 15 bucks over the last week and a half or so. And this was my call back here to watch it over a break of this. And once we got it, it did nothing but run straight up ever since. So congratulations to you that were following me on the Apple side of things. It's possible that I might be moving Apple to the subscribers list. We'll see coming into the new year. I might be moving Apple over to the subscribers. They've been asking about it. So Apple on a daily. You can see it, just a big white bar straight up. Once it got up above this area, I figured there'd be a little bit more upside. Now, I obviously had no clue that it would reach 209 today. I would have never guessed that. But fantastic move if you guys got in with this. Maybe there's more to come. Now we're up and over all this other resistance. There could be more to come in Apple to the upside. This is just a powerful move by Apple. From a weekly standpoint, coming right back up and over these overhead resistances. So once again, things I want to be watching on the weekly. We'll see. If you don't see it on the chart next week, it's only because I moved it to the subscribers list, not because I'm not doing it anymore. ABT on a 60-minute, just sideways. This was one that if the markets moved down, I wanted to catch this one on a break below 53. It never, this was a dead trade all week long. Nothing to do here. ADSK was a great trade as well. Catch it above this.